Ah, class is live. Yay! Hi, peeps. Hi, peeps. How are you this evening? I pray you're doing well. This is Reverend Valerie Love, and I am so happy you are here because what we're going to talk about tonight is life-changing. Grab pen, paper, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, bottle of water. Let's get started. What we're going to talk about tonight will change everything about your money world. And I want you to mark today on the calendar because it is a moment in history is unfolding, and we'll talk about it. So let's do a check-in with all our peeps. First, I want to get a hi going. Hi. Oh, look, I'm at the page. So I want you to put in a greeting if you're here. Hey, how you doing? And tell me what you want to get out of class tonight. What do you want to get out of class tonight? Because we have a lot to cover about money. We have a lot to cover about money. Hey there. This term, cryptocurrency, is new to me. I'm here to learn something from D. Waldo. Yay! Loved it. Thank you for that. Okay, so this cryptocurrency changes everything, and I have been talking about money for a long time. I have been in the financial services industry for a long time. We have never seen anything like this. It is about to change everything we know about money. Get ready. Get ready, get ready, okay? Thank you, D. Waldo. Twanda Solomon is going to watch. Carol M., how you doing, Carol? Is going to watch. Pandora Moorhead. Hi, love, how are you? Vicki Lawrence, Reginald Perry, hi, giving shout outs to our people. And I look on our list. We got a long list of folks who are watching too. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So make sure that you have pen and paper. We have got a lot of good stuff going on right now. Okay, we're going to get started. I'm sending a little message out to our peeps also, just to say, starting now. All right. Okay, first, let's talk about the problem. What is the problem when it comes to money? Have you noticed that no matter how hard you work, you never seem to get ahead with your money? That you get a few good things going on and then something happens and you kind of slip back? Or maybe you seem like you're getting ahead of the game, but then something happens and finances seem to take a turn and you don't quite make all the money that you want to make, or you've never really been able to build up a savings account. Why is it that no matter how hard you try and no matter how many plans you put together, budgets and financial plans and all that, it doesn't seem that you're getting richer? It doesn't even seem that you're even able to maintain ground. For a lot of people, it looks like you're actually slipping backwards financially. Why is that? I'm going to answer that question for you in just one moment. So let's get some more of our greetings going, and I'm sending out a message to let all our folks know who have already RSVP'd for the class that we're starting now, and that we want to make sure everybody knows that we're here. All right, let's hear from a couple of more folks with regard to your, I'm going to refresh this page so I can see what's going on. Give me a moment, give me a moment. Okay, so during the course of class, chat with me on the chat. Any questions as we go through, any questions that you have, put them in the chat and we'll cover them, okay? And shortly, a couple of our coaches may also be joining us in this class. So let's continue with the problem. There are four aspects to the problem that we're going to be talking about tonight. So one is you can't ever seem to get ahead financially and you don't know why. The second problem is it seems that your ability to become wealthy is being controlled or is somehow being tampered with. And this is true, it is. The third aspect of the problem is violence, and we'll talk about that in a moment. The fourth aspect of the problem is locale, where you live. Now, there are solutions to the problem, and we'll talk a little bit more about the problem. So first, if you've ever felt like you're not getting as wealthy as you want to be and you don't know why, it's because if you live on planet Earth, it is very likely that you are either with a plan to become wealthy or you are a part of someone else's plan to become wealthy. 80 to 90% of the people on this planet are part of someone else's plan to become wealthy. If that's you, that means that there is a form, a type of money slavery going on that really you can be free of. For the first time in history, you can be free of it, and we're going to talk about how. Rosa J. Hodge, how you doing this evening?
Good evening, sweetie. How are you? I just looked on my email and saw that you had sent me something. I said, well, that's right. Let me show up.
I see. That's what I love about you, Rosa J. Hodge. You say, look, let me show up. That's 80% of success right there. Showing up. Showing up. You just graduated. Yay! As a money and wealth coach, we had the party on Saturday night. Oh my God, was that a party or what?
Yes, it was. It was quite an experience. And everybody was there. People that I hadn't seen in years.
You did. It is a beautiful unfolding. So tell us, now that you're a money and wealth coach, certified money and wealth coach, you went through a 6-month program with us and you have just done some brilliant things. How do you feel now being a certified money and wealth coach? You are a spiritual life coach, Rosa J. Hodge. How do you feel?
I feel great. And in fact, for the last 2 days, my mind has been talking to me. You know, I've been asleep, but not sleep. All the things of how I could be of service has been flowing through my head all night long, all Saturday night, all Sunday night. So today I slept all day. Tomorrow I will be on my computer doing the things that I need to do to get things started and up. It's funny. I normally sleep well. I haven't in the last 2 days. I haven't been tired, but just answering questions and asking questions and questions being answered in my mind. So I know that it's a new, exciting path that I am on right now. So that's why I showed up, because this is about slavery to money, is it not?
It's about money slavery and being free of money slavery and having your own plan for wealth and prosperity, and how we are now about to embark on the most revolutionary, I could even say the most evolutionary change in consciousness on this planet about how we do money. And it is amazing. So I'm so glad you're here, because this is what we're diving into. So first, let's talk about what is cryptocurrency. So there are 3 words to know about cryptocurrency. First, it is decentralized digital currency. Decentralized digital currency. What does that mean? Decentralized means that it is not centrally orchestrated, created, or owned by any particular entity. So you don't have a government or a corporation that controls it. Decentralized means it's everywhere, like the internet. The internet is decentralized. It doesn't have a central, you can't go to the internet headquarters. Like, if you don't like the internet, you can't call an 800 number and say, can I speak to the boss of the internet because I don't like the internet?
Thank you, God.
Right? That can't happen, right? And that's the same thing with this. Now, if you get that, you're already getting a vital piece of this puzzle, because all the currency that we currently have, and let's pull out your wallets. I put my wallet right here next to me, and I always make sure to keep plain cash in my wallet, right? So when you have this cash in your wallet, whatever forms that you have, you know, that you're walking around with in your wallet, we call this fiat currency, fiat. And fiat means a decree or declaration. It means what we say. So fiat means that this money is worth what we say it is. Well, this morning, this money was worth one amount, and by the time you go to bed tonight, this fiat will be worth something else. Hence, how it is that you're losing wealth without even realizing it. Where does this come from? This is printed up, right, at the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve creates money. Every time the Federal Reserve, that is the central bank of the United States of America. Now, if you are in another country, every country has its own central bank, right? A lot of countries have a central bank, some way to control the money situation, right? The monetary situation. Well, the central bank works with the banking system in this country. And so the central bank says, okay, time to spit out more money or do quantitative easing. That means print more of these. We're going to be real simple and real clear in our talking. We're not going to be, talking over your heads or anybody's head, really. Print more of these. Well, every time they print more of these, this is what happens to the one you already have. It buys less. It shrinks. Now they're printing billions and billions and billions and billions more of these every day. So every day your dollar is doing this and this and this. It's shrinking in value until you need more and more and more of these just to be able to keep up. Yes? Just to be able to do the things that you used to do. Now, Rosa, this is what a brother said to me yesterday, and I was cracking up because both of us are from New York. He said, remember when a ride on a subway in New York was 35 cents? A token was 35 cents. Now it's over $2. And you also remember, I remember when a slice of pizza was a quarter. And actually, it was 15 cents for a slice of pizza and 15 cents for a canned soda when I was in middle school. And when it went up to a quarter each, my mother was livid. She was like, 50 cents now to give you for lunch. This is just crazy. These prices are going haywire. Well, little did we know that the prices were getting ready to go through the roof anyway, right? So that's the first thing we've got to get. This is centralized. What we're talking about, the new money that's on this planet now, is decentralized. That means you can't go to a person and say, you're the boss of this money. This is how we want this money to go. So that's the first thing to understand, decentralized. The second word I said is digital. So decentralized digital currency. Remember, those are our three words that we're working with, right? Very simple if you keep it really simple for yourself. What is digital? Digital means it doesn't exist on paper. It exists in your computer. It's all digital. You cannot print out cryptocurrency. You can't have a cryptocurrency coin in your hand. It's all in the internet. That's where it lives. It doesn't ever come out of the internet. That's simply where it lives. That's where it's born. That's where it's spent. That's where it lives. It's digital. Okay? Now, questions. Come on, chat with us because we got a lot of info to cover. And I know I'm going to refresh the page. And then we're going to go further. So that's the first two parts of it. Decentralized, that in itself, mind-blowing capabilities right there. Second, digital, which means it is not physical, lives in the computer. And currency, what is a currency? Currency is energy going back and forth. Currency, that means I send you some energy, yes, Rosa, you send me some energy. So I send you some energy of teaching and sharing my products and services that I created. You send me energy in the form of currency. It's like an electric current going back and forth, right? All right, let's get questions on that on our page. Absolutely. Chat with us. Chat. We have to hear from you. This is a participatory class. You don't just get to watch. Turn off everything else and chat in the chat box. This will save your life. I guarantee you, and it'll make you a lot wealthier. Okay, let's go forward. So, Rosa, let me ask you a question. For what I've said thus far, does it kind of make sense before we go deeper? Do we have the basic concept, or do you have questions? Because if you have questions, then I know our audience has questions.
Well, no, I actually have heard about this before. I don't really understand where it's located. Like, Do I have my own private account with this money in it, with this type of energy in it, that I transfer? Similar like Google. You know, when you go to Google and you buy something, in fact, somebody just sent me a note from Google that someone was trying to buy something using my account. So now, is that the same concept? You know, that I have my own space where my own currency is, and I dip into that and send it to you, or how does that work?
Okay, that's a great question. I love that question. I love that question. Okay, so in order to answer that question, we have to answer the question of how is cryptocurrency born? So now that we talked about what cryptocurrency is, it is decentralized, digitalized currency. And the particular cryptocurrency that we're focused on is Bitcoin. And the reason we're focused on that particular cryptocurrency, though there are about 100, 200, I think at last count I heard there was something like 200 cryptocurrencies on the planet right now, Bitcoin is the oldest, most successful digital currency. Now, it was born in 2009, so it is not old. And this is 2014. It's only 5 years old. So it's very young compared to many currencies. The currency in this country is a couple of 100 years old, and the currency in some countries is way, way, way older than that, like when you go to Europe. So how did it start? It started with a person, really, I like to say, it started from our consciousness of knowing that we did not want to be controlled by other people who were able to manage our wealth and our abundance. We wanted to have our own control over that. Hence, whenever you have that going on in consciousness, you have a move away from a centralized government or a centralized system to a decentralized system. So let's give an example of the difference between a centralized system and a decentralized system, because we really got to understand, what does decentralization mean? It means this: the internet is decentralized. If you asked us, where does the internet live? It doesn't live in my house, right? Or your house, Rosa. It's everywhere, right?
Yes.
It's like we said, there was no one corporation that controls the internet. The internet is a platform that we all do all kinds of things on. The same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin lives in the internet, and it lives everywhere in the internet. Now, what's the beauty of that? I want you to write this down. Stop everything and look at me in this moment. It means that for the first time on the planet, you can actually opt out of the currency that you are, of the country that you live in, and you can choose to use a different currency. That has never happened before in the history of the world. It wasn't even possible for that to happen before 2009, and it definitely wasn't possible for it to even be born before the internet. Can you imagine, Rosa, that you can actually opt out of the dollar and say, instead, I'm going to use Bitcoin? Talk to me.
I can see the government of the United States being quite mad with that.
Come on, talk to us.
Like, IRS would not be able to control that.
You get it very quickly that it cannot be controlled by a government, like a government can't control the internet.
Right. And I understand that. Now, am I willing to deal with that whole process? Does that mean that, you know, for years I have been saying I do not think that it's fair. Well, you know, the IRS tax system was started only to support World War II. That's it, and that's all. That's as far as it was supposed to go. And then the government officials decided that they liked that because they had a whole lot of money to use, and they could use it and do whatever they want. I never wanted to pay taxes. I don't know about anybody else. You know, and this seems to me a way I've been asking for it. So now tell me more.
Isn't that lovely? And you want to know something too, interesting about taxes, Rosa? That I read the other day, I think it was Rothbard, a quote that says, taxation is nothing but thievery. It really is.
Pretty much.
However, the IRS and the government doesn't like you to say things like that. And I'm not advocating not paying your taxes. I absolutely take care of everything that you're supposed to take care of, and take care of it really well. I am saying that there is the thought process that many people are like, I'm opting out of that. So guess what? There is a Bitcoin Jesus. Can you believe this, Rosa? There is a Bitcoin Jesus. His name is Roger Beer. I'm going to put this in the chat. Roger Beer, Bitcoin Jesus. You would think he's a Bitcoin evangelist. And guess what he did? Bitcoin Jesus. That's what he did, Rosa.
What?
He actually left the United States, as I'm getting ready to do. And he also gave up his citizenship.
Really?
Yes, he did. Because you have the choice to do that. You don't have to stay a citizen of where you were born, right? You can do anything you want. So he gave up his citizenship. And here is a fascinating thing about giving up your citizenship for the United States of America. And most people would think, well, that's a crazy thing to do, because why would you want to give up your citizenship for one of the, the free country, the biggest country, one of the biggest economies, and people are facing shark infested waters so that they can get here and be in America, right? Why would you want to do anything like that? Well, there's a lot of reasons why a person would do something like that, and taxation is one of them. Absolutely, taxation is absolutely one of them. And can you believe, Rosa, that you have to pay $450 as a birthday? $450 and wait 1 to 6 months to see if they approve you to leave the United States and not practice in anything. Can you imagine?
I cannot imagine them wanting to keep people who don't want to stay.
Well, that's an excellent question. Hence, we go to freedom and as opposed to slavery. It really is. If we consider it, I'm going to say something very radical. If we consider it, there is really no difference from slavery of the old and slavery of the new. The old slavery was your energy and your time and your resources fed to a system that created things according to what they wanted to create. Use your resources, our resources, the people's resources, whatever they wanted. Energy. No different from the Matrix, where the people are being used as batteries for the system, right? No different from what we have today. That the millions and millions and millions of people that are in this country are on the treadmill, in a kind of money slavery, does not have anything to do with color, right? This new slavery, this new money slavery, it doesn't have anything to do with color, right? It's about the almighty dollar to the people who think that the dollar is almighty. What do you say, Rose?
I know that's correct. People want to say it's about color, but it's really not. It's an economics thing, and it's getting worse and worse. You cannot, I know in Washington, you cannot get an apartment for less than $1,000 here a month. And that doesn't mean that you're going to have an apartment. That means that you may have a room for $1,000, and it may have a little refrigerator and a stove, but that's not guaranteed. Then you can't go to the store and buy healthy food on a budget. Come on, be real. It has nothing to do with color.
It has nothing to do with color. And we've really got to come to understand that. It has to do with the wealth system and how the system is really set up in this country. So if you want to be wealthy, you've got to really understand how things work with regard to wealth. And it does not work according to what most people think it works according to. When you say that taxes were created a long time ago, back in the 1930s, I think it was it the 1930s?
1930s, right when it's the World War, to support World War II.
Yes, and before that, there were no taxes in this country, and people were thriving.
Yes.
There was no taxation in this country, and people were thriving. So the whole idea of the tax situation, and I call taxation somewhat of a legalized model, because if you choose not to do it, there are some really strong consequences for it. And so this is an extortion of money and wealth from people who are working. This is not about tax. This is about freedom and being abundance before. Because if there was a way that you could opt out of the current system that keeps you on a treadmill and keeps you impoverished, and keeps you not even impoverished, at a level of living where you know you just probably are not going to surpass. If you could opt out of that system simply by saying no to that system and turning to a system that is equally abundant for all, That's a huge step. And the difference is that in this new money that we have, this shocking new wave that's going around the planet of Bitcoin, and if you've never heard of Bitcoin before, Google it. It's all over YouTube. It's all over the internet. I'm going to give you a ton of resources about it. It is sweeping the globe. And we who are enlightened ones, we who are light workers, we must know about it and lead the charge for it, because what it means is that people can actually be free of money slavery, take your wealth and your freedom in your own hands, and live anywhere on the planet you desire to live and be abundant. What do you think about that, Rosa?
I think it's excellent. I remember hearing someone sent me an email years ago about Bitcoins. And I looked at it, and they were offering me to buy them. I looked at it and did not understand it, but I will look again. I think it's amazing. I do not desire to live here anyway, so I ain't, stressed. I love the fact I can start doing that right here where I am and move in a year or two. And the thing that I really, I have to research the fact that I get a retirement check. Can I have my retirement check put into Bitcoins?
You actually can do a couple of things with that. You can change your currency, your US dollars, into Bitcoin, because there are actually exchanges. We'll talk about how you can get some Bitcoin. You can actually change your money from US dollar into Bitcoin, almost like exchanging currency from one currency to another currency. So US dollars for, let's say, euro. You can do that. I'm hearing some feedback. Are you hearing feedback or no? Is that just me?
No.
Okay, good. So we'll continue. Now, here's the next piece of it that's critical. As an investment, and I am not a financial advisor. I used to be a financial advisor for 7 years, so I know about the disclaimers and the disclosures. So I'm going to disclose to you right now that this is not financial advice. Seek the advice of a financial planner and a tax accountant, okay? That's the disclaimer and the disclosure that you have to tell. I want to tell you something about Bitcoin right now. Right now, I believe Bitcoin might be at somewhere around $370 per Bitcoin.
I hear.
What were you saying, Rosa?
I hear the echo now.
Oh, you hear the echo now. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can clear that. Okay. Do you hear it now? I know you nod your head yes or no, and only because I muted your mic, Rosa. When you need to talk, unmute your mic, and then do you hear it now? No. Okay, perfect. Sometimes when a couple of mics are on, for some reason, we get a little bit of feedback. Peeps, talk to us. You're watching, chat. Write in the chat your questions, your comments. This is an important conversation to have. This is a conversation that affects your wealth and your family's financial future. It affects everything about your life right now. So let's talk about it from an investment experience. Do you realize that the very same Bitcoin, I'm looking at Bitcoin right now, we're going to go on screen share, and I'm going to show you one of the resources that I love to use for Bitcoin. Here is the screen share. Go to CoinDesk.com. By the way, I'm not selling you any product. I'm not making a commission. I'm not telling you to go and buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not paying me. I just have to tell you that, first of all, because there's nothing to sell. This is an idea that I want you to become aware of, number one. Second, I want you to see how it will work for you. Okay, that's it. Here, CoinDesk, do you see that number? Can you see that number? I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. We got Bitcoin right now, US dollars. One Bitcoin is worth $361.69, and one Bitcoin is worth 293 euro, 293 and 91 cents. I know they don't call it cents, I believe there's pounds, and then I don't know what the smaller denomination of the pounds are. If Sophia Leroy was here, she'd be able to tell us that because she does live in the UK. So I want you to look at that number, write that number down, 361.56. This is Coindesk.com. Coin. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me okay, Rosa? Can you hear me okay, Rosa? Yes? Okay, great. All right, I'm back. Thank you. We had a little blip there. Okay, so we looked at it. It was 361. Did you write down the number? 361. Just let's work with the whole round dollars. $361. For one Bitcoin, 361 US dollars. Guess where it started? In the cents. So before, in 2009, you could get Bitcoin for change for like 30 cents or as less. The lowest price I've heard is 30 cents. Now, let me ask you a question. From 2009 to 2014, 5 years, we have had this currency go from 30 cents, could be even less than 30 cents. I know many people who have bought it at 30 cents, to $361, and it has been as high as, I've gotten Bitcoin at 376 or so, and it's been as high as over $1,000. One Bitcoin over $1,000. We'll talk about volatility in a moment. Right now, what I'm saying is, if you have this kind of thing going on, and in 5 years you were here, and you're now here, that's huge. That's huge. And that's huge from a financial planning standpoint, because there is no asset class on the planet ever that has performed and returned that much in that short a period of time ever. So there are already Bitcoin millionaires. Can you imagine? So let's work with some numbers. Let's say you got 10 Bitcoin, 10, and they were 30 cents each. What is that? $3. That investment right now would be worth, 5 years later, 10 Bitcoin would be worth now $3,611, $3,610 plus, and could have been as high as over $10,000 from $3. There is no investment that in 2009, if you had put your money into $3, first of all, there's no investment that will accept $3. That's the first thing, right? And Bitcoin, the beauty of it is you can buy as little of it as you want. You can buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. You can deal in these very tiny, tiny increments. You would not, because you don't have to buy an entire Bitcoin. You can buy whatever amount you want to buy, $1 worth of Bitcoin, $10 worth of Bitcoin, whatever it is. There is no place that you could have invested $3 and it now be worth almost $4,000 in 5 years. Now let's take it a little further. What if you invested $30? That investment now would be worth $36,000. Do you get these numbers? If you get these numbers, you will see why this is so mind-blowing and why people who bought a 30-cent Bitcoin just not even really knowing what it was going to do or how it was going to go. And they quickly saw it go up to $3, like a $3 Bitcoin. Like, wow, that's a huge jump right there, because that's like 100-fold increase in your money. From a 30 cents, if you see your investment go from 30 cents up to $3, that's a huge jump. You'll be up, jumping up and down, because that's more than stocks return, that's more than mutual funds, that's more than gold, that's more than silver, that's more than commodities. You know, if you're not a day trader, if you're not having these huge swings, that is a huge return on your investment. Now imagine if you had invested $3 would give you about $36,000. Imagine if you had invested $300. That investment would now be worth $361,000. $361,000. $300 to 300. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because everybody's got $300. Anybody could, right? Rosa, I'm gonna unmute you. Talk to me. Can you fathom these numbers? Are they crazy or what? Unmute your line. Let me try to see if I can unmute.
Okay, so I can see this as an investment that even if you can't afford the $300 right now, any part of anything that you could do would then grow. So you just keep growing it. They, you know, just make an investment of $10 a week or $10 a day or however it goes. I could see this being something that you may just want to build. For me, I may just want to build it so that at the end of the month I can use it and not have to worry about it. I'm still toying in my head. What can I do to make it better? I tell you one thing. Because you know, my head wants to say, you know what? I should have listened to that guy back then.
You would be a millionaire right now, Rosa.
Asked me if I wanted to buy, and I didn't know a thing. So, but I don't worry about what happened in the past. It's now here today, so let's see what I can do with it. I am excited. I don't know about. I may not look like I'm excited, but I can see this as being a way to make money, to use money, to transfer money, that a dollar can be much more than what a dollar in regular currency is. It's like going to Grenada. When you go to Grenada and you change your money over, your dollar is worth like, or Ghana, your dollar is worth like 250 of theirs. I mean, you know,
right.
I need to be somewhere where my money is worth more than what it is here in the United States. I mean, you know, it sounds like Bitcoin is the answer to that. So
can you imagine? Can you imagine? So now we have 193 fiat currencies on this planet right now, right? 193 different countries that print their fiat currencies. I'm going to mute this. And when you need to unmute, okay, and hop right back in, Rosa. Okay, so there's 193 fiat currencies on the planet right now. No, there is, before 2009, you had to use the money of the country you were in. You didn't have a choice. So what's the first thing we've learned tonight? The first thing we've learned tonight is now you have freedom of choice. That's huge. I know people that have completely opted out of fiat currency. They only live, eat, sleep Bitcoin. Now that may sound very strange, because how can people use a money that you just heard of and it's not even everywhere, it's not even in stores, and so how can you live all Bitcoin? There are people on the planet right now that get paid in Bitcoin. They buy their services and goods in Bitcoin. They buy everything in Bitcoin. They live completely in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Now, I want to give another disclaimer. I'm not telling you to invest in Bitcoin. Please understand that. I'm making you aware of the infinite possibilities. You must do your research. You must do your inner. The first place you go is within and say, what does this mean for me? The next place you go and you start Googling, watching some YouTube videos and educate yourself. And then the next step is Do what you feel inclined to do. You know that inner voice is talking to you. And if you've seen it 1 or 2 or 3 times and you're still procrastinating, what I'm telling you here is don't procrastinate, because in 5 years, you can spend $300 right now, and in 5 years have $1 million from that $300. Possibly. That is not a prediction, and that is not a forecast. There is the possibility. And even if there was the possibility that you could put in $300 and in a year it'd be $500 or $1,000, well, it's more than you have right now. And guess what? It's not the fiat up and down currency that actually the fiat currency is pretty much going one direction down, because every time they print more, what you have becomes less. You've got to get that they are pulling the strings here in the higher upper realms, and that every time they print more money and push it out into the system and prop up this system that is not working, that is not sustainable, every time they do that, it's robbing your wealth. It's robbing your wealth. Now you can opt out of that system. And that excites me more than anything else, because my life is about freedom. Free your mind, free yourself, free your body. Free yourself to worship as you please, to live as you please, to speak as you please, to do what you feel led to do. Freedom and abundance for all. It's an amazing concept. The second thing we learned, so we got 2 concepts that we've gone through first so far. One, that if you do start to incorporate or go over to Bitcoin, I decided, Rosa, I'm living totally on Bitcoin, and I'm giving myself 2 years to take it. I'm taking myself completely off fiat currency, and I'm giving myself 2 years to do it. So starting December 1st, our business, all my coaching programs can be paid for in Bitcoin starting December 1st, which was a couple of weeks ago, right? Last week or so. I gave myself 2 years. By December 1st, 2016, I will be completely off. By then or before, I will be completely off. And it probably won't even take that long, because Bitcoin is so fast and moving so fast. It really is the internet. And if you give a parallel, do you remember Pony Express, right? If you want to send a message to somebody, some of our people watching, Rosa, they won't even be familiar with that concept. Pony Express, what is that? Unmute. You remember Pony Express? You unmute for a moment. So yeah.
No, these folks hardly. Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
You're unmuted. Yes.
You know, these folks don't even know what a regular dial-up phone is. So you talk about the Pony Express. Great. These guys don't know. They don't even know what an 8-track machine is. You know, come on.
And I took them all the way back.
Pony Express was during the time of the riding the horses back and forth in the mailbox and all that.
Come on.
Go from one.
That was even before we were alive. We heard about it.
Just heard about it.
We heard about it, right? They told us about it in history books, the Pony Express. And that's how you sent it from one person to another person. People watching now be like, what in the world is that?
Right? So then they went from the Pony Express to the telegraph.
Oh, look at that.
The industry. Then they went from that to the telephone. With one operator sticking in the things to everybody else there. One operator.
One operator. And when you picked up the phone, if somebody else was on the phone, you had to hang up and call back.
Then I was doing my mother's time. I'm not that old. I was doing my mother's time. And yours.
Yes, absolutely. And I remember when they used to charge by the minute to use the telephone, and my mother, even for local calls, and my mother told us we could not be able to tell you better hurry up and get off that telephone because they charge you by the minute.
So now this Bitcoin thing is going to move. It's moved really rapidly. I'm telling you, because I think it was around 2009 it started. Someone contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do it. You know, I get amazing things, and I was like, I was just not there. But I'm going to definitely look at this deeper.
Well, there's a reason why you're here tonight. There is a reason why you're here tonight, right?
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, so let's go further. So now, here's the first important concept that we got to get. That now you are free to opt into any currency you like, that you don't even have to live on a fiat currency at all and be in a system that filters, that kind of siphons off your wealth. It's like holes in the bottom of your wealth bucket. That's really what it is. Second, we also now have found out that you, even if you don't want to use it to buy and sell and trade, you can buy it, hold it, because it's gone up in value more than any other thing that you could put your money into over the last 5 years. It has outperformed every asset class in history, and that is not a projection, a prediction. Remember, past performance is no guarantee of future results. We have to say that because they have so many disclaimers that you have to do when you're talking about money. You've really got to get that if you can put your money into something that's going to grow, 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 grow without you doing anything, this is what I predict. This is a prediction right here, that there will be Bitcoin millionaires based on what we talk about tonight, Rosa. There will be Bitcoin millionaires. You'll go out, you'll say, you know what, I'm going to put some money into Bitcoin. And without pretty much any work, you could be a Bitcoin millionaire. There are many Bitcoin millionaires that all they did was buy it when it was 30 cents, $30, you know, all the way up to $1,000, all the way up to $361 where we are now. There were many levels. There were many steps. You could have bought a $10 Bitcoin, a $25 Bitcoin, you know, a $100 Bitcoin. Well, we're at 361 now, and they're saying that there is very high likelihood of a $10,000 Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes to $10,000 for one Bitcoin, what does that mean if you bought that one Bitcoin now for $361? You know, just do the math on that. You don't even have to, you know, add that up. It's a lot of money. So if you did that and you did nothing else, there could be Bitcoin millionaires created without that much work. And I'm not saying don't work for creating a fortune. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you've got to understand the power of a trend and get in front of it. And something that's even more than a trend, you've got to get out in front of something that is changing the whole globe and the whole planet. People all over the globe are transmitting Bitcoin back and forth. And why? Because guess what? There's no middleman in the middle, right? So people are transmitting Bitcoin back and forth. You can transmit back in, Bitcoin right now to Africa or Egypt. Egypt's in Africa, or Australia, or with that's never been done before. We have a global currency. We have a global currency. Each country, you pass the little border, you got to switch up the money. Okay, you pass another little border, switch up the money. Okay, you pass another border, switch up the money. What is so exciting to me about Bitcoin is that our consciousness has come to the place in evolution. It's an evolutionary leap because our consciousness has to now come to the place that we know that we can do this thing globally. Like, it shouldn't be this US dollar and then this UR over here and then that over there and then that over there. Like, we want to do something better than that, just like we didn't want to do maybe Pony Express. Like, there were the inventors, right, and the innovators who were thinking, we could do this faster, better. And we, in our human evolutionary ascension, now it was only a matter of time before we would create a currency, just like the internet, that can go everywhere instantly. It can go everywhere instantly. That's Bitcoin. Put questions. I know this is a lot of information that we're covering. Put questions in the chat. We want to hear your questions. I want to hear your questions before we wrap up class, okay? And look, don't send me a bunch of questions later. Like, send me an email later. Oh, Val, what about this? Val, what about that? I'm going to give you exactly your next steps, and I'm going to show them to you right now, exactly your next steps. So while I'm going over the next steps, unmute Rosa so you can chat with our peeps so I can show them next steps.
So when we talk about if you're like me and desire to travel the world, have a house here and a house there, and stay 6 months here, 10 months there, 3 months here, 5, this is an amazing thing. Now, my question is, because I heard you say that you were going to change all of your payments for your coaching class. We got to get together because I desire to do that in mine, to have them, because that's a way for me to get my coins.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that, Rose. I am so glad you said that. So that's going to answer the question of how do you actually get Bitcoins, right? How do you actually get them? So mute your mind for a minute, Rosa, so we can eliminate the feedback. And then I'm going to show us what we do next.
Am I muted? No. They didn't mute me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's muted now. All right. Let's go on screen share. Okay. This is my newest baby, Abundance for All. Abundance for all, not just a few people. Okay, not just a few suits on Wall Street, not just a few people at the Federal Reserve, not just a few fat bankers, not just a few Congress people. I know I'm being, forward in my speaking, and that's on purpose. Abundance for all, from the kid in Kenya all the way to the farthest reaches of the globe. Abundance for all. That's really my goal. So in this Abundance for All, we've got Bitcoin Academy. So I just want to show you right here. When you go to Bitcoin Academy, this is what I want to show you. This is now part of the Destiny coaching for the coaches. Don't you love that, Rosa, that now the coaches will be getting Bitcoin Academy? So when you sign up to be a money and wealth coach with us, you're also going to get Bitcoin Academy. But I want to zoom in here on what Bitcoin Academy, the investment for it. I want to zoom in on this. Do you see what I did here, Rosa? If you're paying for it in Bitcoin, if you're paying for it in US dollars, you are you have one price here, okay? If you're paying for it in Bitcoin, there is another price. So here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see that. Okay, so if you're paying for the 90-day course in Bitcoin, it's one price. If you pay for it in fiat currency, it's a higher price. Now, why is that? Well, before we answer that question, I want to hop us over to Bitcoin Academy. This is what you learned here. And then I want to hop us over to ValerieLove.com. And when you go to ValerieLove.com, the computer's moving a tad bit slow here. Okay, we got that. Okay. Become a money and wealth coach. When you click on that, become a money and wealth coach. Thank you. Right here, you're going to see a video, and the new class starts Wednesday, January 7th, 2015. Wednesday, January 7th. This new batch of coaches that we're teaching, they will be able to have Bitcoin Academy included in their money and wealth coach training, and I talk about that a little bit in this video. So with Bitcoin Academy, if you want to learn about Bitcoin Academy, thank you, Google. If you want to learn about Bitcoin Academy, you can do it one of two ways. Either you can have it individually, simply learn it, and there are 3 levels of Bitcoin Academy. If you are a money and wealth coach with us, you get all 3 levels of Bitcoin Academy, okay? You get that. And all you have to do is go to ValerieLove.com, and right up here you can see Become a Certified Money and Wealth Coach, or if you, when you land at ValerieLove.com, you will see that that's the first option, Become a Money and Wealth Coach. This is so important, so important, so important, so important. People have to understand how to be free. So that's Bitcoin Academy. If you want to join the movement, what does joining the movement mean? Joining the movement means that there are 3 simple steps, and they're the same simple steps that we teach in the Bitcoin Academy. So if you go to Bitcoin Academy, you see that the first level of Bitcoin Academy is learning Bitcoin. That's level 1. Level 2, living Bitcoin. Level 3, mastering Bitcoin. And you see these pictures here that I have next to them. So number 1, learning Bitcoin means what is Bitcoin? How to be your own bank. What is cryptocurrency? We teach you all of that. So you've got to learn it first. Level 2 is living Bitcoin. How to exit fiat currency, relocate, and be free. Hello. You all did hear that I'm moving to Bali, Indonesia, not because of Bitcoin. I'm moving to Bali, Indonesia because that's where my soul is taking me, my soul and spirit. And it just so happens that it's the first Bitcoin island. Yay! Number 3, level 3 is mastering Bitcoin. That means certification to coach and teach others into Bitcoin so they too can be free. Those are the 3 levels of the destiny of the Bitcoin Academy. That's also now included in what
Sweetie,
we're teaching. What you think, Rosa?
I'm going to have to leave. I forgot I do the 10 o'clock meditation. I must look at the rest of this. Make sure you give us all the information. Can I call?
I will. I loved having you with us tonight. This has been fun.
Yes. Can I call you in the morning?
Yes, you may. Now I got coaching clients in the morning, and I also have the radio show tomorrow morning.
So what about afternoon? Early afternoon?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Take care. Love
you. Okay, peeps, as we wrap up class for tonight, here are your next steps. This is critical. If you don't do anything with the information that you got tonight, nothing will change. Nothing will change in your money world if you don't do something. Nothing will change in your financial life if you don't take action and do something different. Do something different than what you've been doing with your money and really step into a place of power that leads to freedom and abundance for all. This is what you do. I want you to go to abundanceforall.info. Abundanceforall.info. When you get to abundanceforall.info, it shows you what Bitcoin is, so some of the introductory information about Bitcoin. I also want you to go to valerielove.com. When you go to valerielove.com, click on blog, and there at the blog, I've been blogging lately on Bitcoin, and I have some amazing vids to point you right to so that you can get really a specific, accurate information about Bitcoin. You've got to investigate it. I'm not saying that you've got to invest in it. I'm saying that you've got to investigate it. Pay it close attention. This is a way that you can be free of money slavery and that you can actually transfer value peer to peer from one person to another person anywhere on the globe instantly for pennies. It is simply an evolutionary, we don't even call it revolutionary because that's fighting something that is. It is evolutionary in that it simply makes the current systems we have look like the Pony Express. This is the internet of money, according to Andreas Antonopoulos. I am quoting Andreas Antonopoulos. This is the internet of money. It's not money for the internet. No. This is the internet of money. Now, we're going to be doing another class next Wednesday, and I want you all, next Monday, free, 9 p.m., same time. I want you to email me, and I want you to send me in social media your questions about Bitcoin, and we're going to answer all of them next week. Next week is all about you, all about your questions. I'm passionate about it. You've got to get yourself into the space of expanding into a new consciousness. This is the wave of the future, peeps. You're going to look at this video and you're going to know that history was being made. This is the wave of the future. People said the internet will never catch on. Well, guess what? People said email. Why do we need email? I could just send a letter through the mail. Why would I want to send a message through the internet to somebody? Well, we know how that turned out, right? This is an evolutionary leap that you must know about and you must tap into. It changes everything. I love you. God bless you. Mwah. Have a beautiful night. And I'll see you next Monday on our free class. Mwah. Love you. Abundance for all.